Hi guys, good to be here and see you all. Okay, let's get into it. If we look at pre-pandemic to where we are now, and I've got a really interesting stat that I'll share with you shortly around traffic and conversions across our network of partners. We thought that things were okay pre-pandemic. Things have really just accelerated so fast, and now post-pandemic, things are holding there. They haven't gone back. It keeps moving in north. I just think that this is an interesting stat as well, that more around e-com now is becoming so much more prevalent. I know across our partner network, we have more partners now wanting to launch more new, really cool e-com products. And that pushes us as a business, pushes Spots of Digital. We're always evolving, and we're evolving with our partners, trying to keep up with market trends and partner needs. But we've got some great products that are really taking shape now, and where we had some partners and major partners that traditionally just sold presence websites, SEO products, and paid search. They've now dipped their toe into selling meaningful e-com sites and solutions, and that they see that once they've implemented that with their sales team, it's getting some really good traction, to the point of taking up about 10% of website sales. We see that over the last 2 years, and it was kind of happening before, but it's really moved forward now. That with social media has become the new window shopping. If you're not doing so much with social at the moment, I would almost guarantee that within the next year, you will be. And if you're not, you really need to start thinking about what's your social media strategy and the products that you're going to take to market. Because if you don't, somebody else will, and they're already doing it. We get in from across our network of partners globally. We're getting a lot of questions around what can we do to take social to market. And we've got one partner that went from a standing start to now doing several thousand units a month on those types of products. So great traction there, as you would expect. Growth with social, exponential. We're finding that a lot of SMB customers are looking at, around 50% are looking at social to get new customers. So some really great insights there, particularly also driven through marketing that can now happen for SMBs that's relevant on YouTube. Great growth. What we're now seeing is that 60 to 70% of shoppers are going through an omnichannel strategy in their process around research before they get to a website. And they may even go into a bricks and mortar store, but people are doing more shopping now and more research now than they have ever done before. And over the last 2 years, when people have been at home and they've had a little bit more time perhaps, they're just spending so much more time online. And those habits have not changed. Now, I know it's only early days when we call post-pandemic. It's been a matter of months, effectively, depending which country you're from. We can see that trend is not reversing. So people spent more time online, they spent more time shopping online, they spent more time on social. Those trends have not reversed. They keep moving north. Key indicators for us are around engagement, particularly when it comes to websites. So websites is a core product for us, along with paid search, SEO and social. But websites forms the bulk of the revenue. So key indicators are conversions. So it's not just traffic, it's around conversions on sites as well. And we can see that all of the stats are showing that there's more conversions happening now, more people are interacting with sites than they've ever done before. We think that this is a killer shot around conversions. You can see pre-pandemic over here around traffic on a ratio basis, taken through to March. Traffic is just really accelerating. But the really important thing is around conversions. And you'll see that where conversions previously were around about 7.8%, which is still a really great number for conversions. We've peaked at just over 10%, 10.3%. We're down to 9.5 at the moment, but we think that's a seasonal thing. But so, it's showing that there is a lot of interaction with really great looking sites, the search piece is a key factor, the findability piece is a key factor. It's about making sure that you're doing all of the right things, all of the hygiene things on your product delivery. We have one partner where traffic, although traffic is not an absolute driver, but it's an interesting point to dwell on. But we've got one partner where traffic has doubled. We've got one partner that's gone by about 120% from pre-pandemic to post. And then we have another bunch of partners that are sitting about 75% increase over the past 2 years. An average across the whole Spots network is 35% improvement on conversions. And the world has moved from standalone products to full digital services and solutions. Not just in our category, in the digital marketing world, but also just in general in life. If you think before, you might have had a Sonos that you might have bought and you thought you were pretty cool because you got your Sonos speaker in each different room and you thought that was great. But now everything has evolved to smart homes. And everybody now wants smart homes where your Sonos connects to your smart home. You can be, everything's through an app. You can do your central heating. You can turn your alarms on. You've got every single system that's to do with your house. I think Google's just about to release a smart home solution where you can connect 100 different devices. That is all moving fast. People want things simple. They want it in one place, particularly the Gen Z generation. They don't think twice about anything else. So we think that innovation is faster today than it's ever been before, particularly in our recent times. I know for us at Spots Digital as a business, we are absolutely focused on innovating, making sure that we can support our partners in every shape and form, looking at how we can help them with new channels to market, taking new products to market, looking at what could be meaningful to an SMB, to a local customer, and ensuring that we can work with that partner to execute on that product. Making sure that we're trying to evolve the business and not standing still. Lots of new solutions are coming to market daily, weekly, monthly. It can cause confusion for SMBs. It can cause confusion for us. It's like, there's so much choice on all of these different digital solutions now. What is it that you're going to who are you going to partner with? What does that look like? How are you going to integrate that into your product stack? The complexities around that. How do you then take that to market? I think it's our role as an industry to try to simplify that message, simplify that process, and make it really easy, not only for the customer, but also internally in your internal operations and with your sales teams on taking those products to market and your marketing teams on getting the messaging right. People want simplicity more now than ever before, and the demands as well has increased. Think, if you will, now obviously everybody books through a booking solution. If you want to book a restaurant, you expect to get an SMS, you expect to get an email. If you don't get that now almost instantly, you think, has my booking been accepted? Those are the simple kind of things that have already changed. When you buy something online, you get sent an SMS telling you where that product is in terms of its delivery. So consciously, people now expect those kind of functions in everything that we do from a digital marketing solutions perspective. So you book a product, you buy a product online, you get an SMS and an email. You might get a link if it's DHL, and if you're lucky enough with DHL, it'll turn up. But you get your different tracking devices, and you get regular updates. And people now expect that as well from us. Our customers expect that from them. So it's making sure you've got all of those technology solutions built for the overall technology stack. So it's not just about having a website with e-com and having some SEO. You've also got to make sure that you've got those messaging services, you've got those booking solutions, you're building in business tools is the direction. People, and on that point, we believe, and I think that the market trends are, people want things in one place. So websites are not just websites just for search now. They're also a platform with business tools. So CRM, e-com, email marketing, they want everything in there, but they want it to be intuitive, they want it easy to use, they can understand it, and they also want flexibility. They want flexibility in the service and the platform that they're interacting with. So they may be looking for, and there's a growing cohort of customers who will want to do things themselves in a DIY world. There's also, particularly for what we would call standard and basic products, that sits very nicely in the DIY space. Then moving through the product ladder, as a customer might want things with a little bit more complexity because that's the need of their business. As you move up that product ladder, it moves from a DIY solution and service to a do-it-with-me solution and service, all the way through to a customer who might want something a lot more custom from a website perspective, from a features perspective, from a paid search perspective, from an SEO perspective, across the whole gamut of the different pillars. That requires a full do-it-for-me solution where they need to speak to someone. The other elements could be full DIY with chat through to do it with me, where the customer might do part of it, but they want some help and assistance in the other parts. And so going through with the different product ladders, it's good to try to identify what are standard, what is more complex for a do it with me, and what is more full custom. And I'd probably suggest that as we become more driven through AI and we can become more intelligent and understand what different needs are of different customer groups, that will also continue to evolve. And it may well be that the DIY space moves all the way through to a do-it-with-me space, and maybe DIFM doesn't even exist in about 4 or 5 years' time. And those are challenging things. Those are challenging times, particularly for a business like Spotzer. All of that is incredibly challenging because we are known as experts in the do-it-for-me space. But we now have to evolve our business model as well. And that's the challenge that I always constantly put to our team. How do we evolve our business so that we remain relevant and we can provide relevancy as well and support our partners so that our partners can be competitive? So we're always developing our models, so not just for DIFM, do it for me, but we're also looking at what can we do in the DIY space and what can we do in the, how can we evolve the do it with me space. That's critical for our business for longevity and for growth. So for us, we've developed our own little platform that accommodates all of those different elements. We're developing a platform that accommodates for DIY and also accommodates for do it with me, as well as all the key elements that we have in the business today around do it for me. We put in all of our products into one place with the partners that we have. Pretty much everybody here today at Cinder is either a partner we're working with either on a number of products or one or two products. And we see it's important to us that we support our partners. So we are working through how do we build that platform out so it's meaningful to our partners' needs, so we can work with them so that they can have a DIY solution with us. Everything is always white labeled in the brand. So we are always looking at how we can develop and evolve our business so that our partners' businesses can also evolve. And they may want to work with us on that or not. But we just see that it's incumbent on us to at least for the direction for our business and to work with our partners in helping them evolve as well. And with that, we then integrate all of the different platforms, and the majority of the platforms that are also here today, we work with nearly all of those platforms in some shape or form, and we integrate them into the Spotzer digital ecosystem so they can participate and be part of what we have with Hub. So Hub is essentially, it's a full DIY marketplace with all of the Spotzer digital products that sit within it. But we're also, that's phase one. Phase two, which is in the H2 of this year, we'll be developing it out so that if there are non-Spotzer digital products, they can also sit within the marketplace. And if it's something that you're interested in, please go to our stand and have a chat with the guys. They would be more than happy to show you what we're doing there. But it's a new direction for us. We're going in this way, in this direction, because we have to evolve, and we have to evolve our model. Other things to think about. So it's all about integration. It's all about one-stop shop, making it easy for your customers, letting your customers check out, with a digital health check is where it typically starts. Trying to enable your customers so they could buy a domain name, they can buy emails, they can buy all the different digital marketing products that you might think of, business listing solutions, the full integration of those, how that interacts with websites, paid search, SEO. It's providing all of that, get into that one-stop shop. But other things to think about is absolutely social. Social's absolutely exploding, and particularly with YouTube and also with TikTok. Don't underestimate TikTok and the power of TikTok. I was talking to somebody the other day. They were talking to me around the elements around the Metaverse e-com. It's something that I hadn't even really thought about, but now people are starting to talk about Metaverse e-com, which is really interesting. YouTube, massive growth, meaningful campaigns now, and easy and commercially viable to execute YouTube campaigns for SMBs. If you're not looking at that as a product at the moment, I would urge you to start to consider it and think about what does that look like. And I'm a big fan, as many are, of Elon Musk. And for us, we have the view that we can either watch it or we can be part of it. We choose to be part of it. Whether we're successful with it, I'm not too sure, but we're absolutely going to give it a go. Okay? Thank you.
Do we have any questions for Pete? Okay, I have one question. On the conversion, okay, that was a pretty big jump. Do you think it's now stabilized, or do you think as shopping, everything patterns change, it's going to increase more?
Yeah, I'd probably give you an update in the next quarter on that one. But at the moment, the trend is showing yes. But you know, for us, you know, post-pandemic really is only in some countries since February.
Yeah.
You know, so we've got those stats through till March, but everything looks like it's holding. And we will update our partners on conversion rates. But it looks like it's holding, and we think, yes, it will continue.
Great.
Okay.
Any other questions? Yeah. Right.
Hi, we heard this morning from one of the CEOs that people are kind of pulling back from Google a little bit and wanting the kind of more refined version that you can get from directory search and the kind of products here. We also know that from what you've said and everyone else has said, this is just becoming a massive information industry, massively complex set of possibilities. Why is it that you think the big tech companies who are really good at that, why do you think they're not going after this space? What's stopping them from coming into this space? Because you clearly understand it really well.
My view would be it's a very difficult space to understand and to execute. And in my experience in dealing, the bigger the business, the more difficult it is for them to execute and to go after different channels and different and execute on different strategies. So it may be that they're not going there. It may just be that they haven't been able to execute it yet. And in talking with some of the, you know, the types of businesses that you're referring to, in talking to some of those businesses as we do, that would be my opinion, is that they just haven't got their act together yet, but they have an intention of doing it, but whether they actually execute and do it is another thing.
And actually, that's a very good question going into our next session. Okay.
Okay.
All right, Pete, thank you. And Spotzer Digital is inviting everybody to the Mallorca Yacht Club this evening.
Yes.
For the nautical evening. So it's a very exciting evening, and thank you so much for inviting everybody at Cinda.
Thank you.